Ransomware continues to be one of the biggest cyber threats in the world today, and sometimes with all the headlines about successful attacks and ransom payouts, it might feel as if it's a losing battle. But an initiative by Europol has been taking the fight to ransomware for years, and it's managed to help millions of victims for free, while also preventing hundreds of millions of dollars from being paid out to cyber criminals. I'm Danny Palmer, this is ZDNet Security Update, and I'm joined by Fernando Ruiz, Head of Operations at Europol's European Cybercrime Centre, to talk about the No More Ransom project. Thanks for joining me, Fernando. So first of all, what is No More Ransom and how did it begin?
Thank you, Danny. If I had to describe the No More Ransom, I would say is probably the most successful public-private collaboration initiative we have seen in the last decade. This initiative came in the frame of one of the operations we supported a few years ago, in which a number of law enforcement partners and other partners from the private sector were involved. In the frame of this operation, we had access to a server infrastructure, a number of keys to decrypt the files of the victims were available. And moreover, the private sector partners involved in the operation, they developed a tool to decrypt the encrypted files, and we had the opportunity to help the victims. So we opened a discussion and said, look, how can we make these resources, these tools available to the 100,000 of victims of this specific ransomware family that could be out there around the world. So that's how it all started. We started to discuss and we decided, let's create a site, a repository online where victims across the globe can access to this tool. That's how it all started, with a discussion, and then the project was launched after a number of problems, but we managed to put everything together, and that's how the project started.
So how does the project work, and how has it evolved over the years? Because it has come a long way since it first started.
Indeed, we have now, recently we celebrated the 4th year anniversary of the project. We started with a number of tools helping victims of limited number of ransomware families. And the project started to grow. We reached partners from the private industry, we reached partners from the law enforcement community, and started communicating about this project. And we received a very positive response. Everybody said, look, this is a great initiative. And we were surprised on the level of engagement we received, the number of private partners who developed tools to help the victims and said, we would like to join, we would like to contribute. There are very different ways to contribute to the initiative. We have obviously internet security companies who are researching and developing tools to help the victims to recover their files. We have partners from the private sector that are helping us to reach the victims, because the important thing of this tool, this resource, is it has to be known. The victims across the globe, they need to know that they have this possibility. Go to this site online and try. We may be in position to help them. So we started with a number of partners, and until today we have more than 150 partners associated to the initiative, from law enforcement, from academia, from the private sector. And now we are covering 140 ransomware families. And that's a huge number. So we have, as you can see, and you can access the Europol website for more details, we have managed to potentially help more than 4 million victims, which is a huge success in our opinion.
You mentioned the importance of collaboration there. How helpful has it been, the collaboration between both public and private bodies, and the cross-border cooperation as well?
Well, this initiative would have been impossible to develop with the collaboration between the public, the law enforcement agencies, and the private partners. The private partners, they have the tools, they have the capacity to research and develop the tools to decrypt the files targeted by the ransomware attacks. And that, therefore, the collaboration is essential. Likewise, law enforcement agencies, in the frame of their investigations, they have access to servers when some keys are hosted. So we need to combine all this together and put these resources available through this website in order to be in position to help the victims.
You touched upon it briefly a moment ago, but what have been some of the major successes of No More Ransom over the past 4 years?
Well, the biggest success is the coverage of the initiative. We have translated the site with the collaboration of the partners that they on a voluntary basis, they decided to cooperate. We have translated the site and make it available to 36 languages in order to reach the whole world. This is a resource. It's not only for Europe. It's not only for a part of the world. This is for everybody, and everybody in position to help us to stress, to highlight the existence of the site is welcome. And that's why it's one of the biggest successes. I mean, we have managed to help potentially 4 million victims because we come with the support of the private sector around, with companies around the world, with governments around the world, and law enforcement agencies around the world, helping us to promote the site.
And what have been some of the biggest challenges over the 4-year period of No More Ransom? Because ransomware has changed a lot in that time as well.
Indeed, the ransomware is one of the main threats. You can see it on the latest reports from the cybersecurity community. You will see in the IOCTA that we will publish very soon, Europol is our annual report on describing the criminal landscape in the area of cyber. You will see how ransomware is still one of the highest threats. There has been an evolution in the last few years. The criminals behind the ransomware attacks are adapting the attack vectors. They are now more aggressive than in the past. They are not only encrypting the files, they are also exfiltrating data and treating the victim on publishing, making this data available. So it's from a law enforcement perspective, we have been monitoring this evolution. In the frame of the No More Ransom, what we are doing is we are constantly reaching out the partners involved in the project and asking them to give us update on the possibility to upload new tools to mitigate the damage caused by the newest ransomware families. So we have a constant dialogue with them, and as soon as there's a new tool available and they develop a new decryption tool, they contact the project, they contact us, and we make this tool available through the website.
The No More Ransom portal also contains advice on how organizations can stay protected from ransomware attacks in the first place. So what are some of the things that businesses and other organizations should be doing to try to ensure that they don't fall victim to ransomware, so they don't need the service to begin with?
Yeah, indeed, Danny, prevention is the key in this area, not only for companies and governments, also for the general public that is also a victim, a target of these ransomware attacks. One of the main advices that you can find also in the No More Ransom website is, first, you have keep a backup of your data. Keep offline copy or keep in the cloud or somewhere. Do not rely on your only live copy of the data. Keep a proper backup. Also, it's essential that all the operative systems, antivirus, are properly updated. Implement any available patch as soon as possible in order to mitigate any potential vulnerability. That's important. And likewise, apart from the technical means that you can implement to protect your company or your equipment, I think it's important to stress the need for a proper education for the employees. There are essential minimum security measures that they can adapt. Do not only the companies, but also at home, do not download software from non-reliable sources. Do not open attachments. When you see something suspicious, contact the security officer in your company, ask them, what is this? This is suspicious. So a number of essential security measures that can be implemented could prevent most of the successful ransomware attacks that we have seen.
Thank you for that. That's very useful advice. And where can people go to find out more about No More Ransom?
I think that you can go to the nomoreransom.org is the website where you can find all these resources available. You can find prevention awareness tips, and you can find solutions that may help you. And obviously, one of the main important advices, do not pay the ransom. Do not pay the ransom, because that only is fueling this criminal business. There's no guarantee you'll receive the key to recover your files. So we recommend never pay the ransom.
That's some very good advice. So thanks for joining me, Fernando. It's been very interesting. And for more information on ransomware and other cybersecurity threats, be sure to keep reading ZDNet. Thank you for watching ZDNet Security Update.